Do you ever feel like it's you against the world? Stop the loneliness because you are not alone. When you feel isolated and feel like you don't belong and it's you against the world, this can feel overwhelming and paralyze your life. This is Dr. Spencer Coaches. Today, I'm going to talk to you about stopping loneliness, because when you feel all alone, it feels like a net is all around you, tightening and tightening and tightening until you can't move or do anything. And then you just isolate yourself because you don't trust anybody. When you don't trust anybody, you're going to block everybody out. And this hypervigilance, being suspicious of everybody, is what's causing your loneliness. And how do you overcome this? Well, there's going to be 5 steps to transforming your isolation into connection, because I know deep down inside, you really want to connect with people and feel like you belong, but maybe you're tired and sick and tired of seeking people's approval and feeling judged. At least you perceive people to be judging you in your own mind. But are they really judging you? Is it all happening in your own mind? What is this hypervigilance and paranoia? Well, if you have CPTSD or even PTSD, you can experience this hypervigilance because your mind is stuck in this flight or fight response. And something called a reticular activating system, which is part of the brain, that's going to make you hypervigilant, hyper-aware. You're always going to look around. In the back of your mind, you're going to be thinking, what is this person going to do to me? Or are they judging me? I feel judged. I don't feel comfortable. And you place this unreasonable demand on people to make you feel comfortable and make you feel safe. Because these are basic needs. We all want to feel safe. Nobody's supposed to live in danger all of the time. But when you have a challenging moment, it can feel like a threat, even though there is no threat. So let me get into this more deeply. The first step that you got to apply in your life to get out of the loneliness and create connection is work on yourself, your mindset. So you got to build self-confidence. You got to develop a sense of trust, first of yourself, then of other people, and also feel safe, because ultimately you're looking to feel safe and expecting other people to make you feel safe, when it is not their job to make you feel safe. It's not their job to make you feel threatened either, but people aren't intentionally threatening you, so where does this hypervigilance come from? That's what you got to answer, because when you realize that it's your own mind projecting onto the world, you realize that these fears that you have in your mind are just think of it this way. Fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. This false evidence appearing real is this memory that you have that creates this sense of hypervigilance, the memory of the trauma. And something is triggering that memory, the playback loop, if you will, of that memory. You got to get to the bottom of that, because if that memory keeps going on repeat, you're going to be stuck in that flight or fight system, that flight or fight response, that hypervigilance. And you're going to make up stories about people who you look at as threatening or attacking or disrespecting or not honoring, and label them as bad people, when all of this is really unreasonable, irrational. It doesn't really make sense to label everybody as bad people and expecting them to make you feel safe. That's unfair. So this sense of distrust really comes from your own mind remembering the traumatic event and projecting it out onto people in an overgeneralized rule of saying all people are not trustworthy, or all people are shallow, and we have these shallow conversations, or all people lie, or whatever it is you apply to all people, or it's always like this. Therefore, it must be this way. So when you get into that reasoning, you'll understand that you're actually creating your own sense of fear and paranoia, which is then in turn feed the feeling of distrust because you're not confident in yourself. So you really got to work on your sense of confidence. And how you do that is by getting good at something. It could be anything. The essence to building self-confidence is competency. Practice something you already know, whatever it is, whether it's cleaning the house even, get really good at it. Whether it's riding a skateboard, whether it's working out, whether it's reading, whatever skill that you currently have, just develop it. Pick any skill. It really doesn't matter. Because once you develop the growth mindset, that is the essence of developing competency. Practice makes perfect. The pianist must practice chords and scales over and over and over again in order to play the piece well. And once you can play it well, once you can apply that skill well, then the confidence is born. And when you apply that development of getting good at something, that's usually applicable to any situation in your life, any challenge in life. And that's how you create confidence, trust in yourself. Now, you also need to nurture yourself. Take care of yourself. No one's going to make you feel comfortable except yourself. And life was never supposed to be comfortable all of the time. It's unreasonable to think that all of life and every single moment is supposed to be comfortable. That's just not real. That thought, that belief, it's irrational. So look at that. What is really making you feel that is your own belief. So nurture yourself, exercise, diet, love yourself. That's going to make you a better person. That self-love, when you're actually protecting yourself by living a positive, healthy lifestyle. No one does more harm to anyone but yourself through bad habits, especially smoking cigarettes, drinking excessively, drugs, staying out late, and even your character, being rude, being a jerk. It's going to destroy all of your relationships. So own your character. That's what's going to make you feel comfortable. Respect people. So that's how you take care of yourself, not just your physical body, but your mindset. Don't let anything perturb your mind, disturb your thoughts and feelings. So you cultivate a healthy mind. That's how you nurture yourself. Now, you got to do things that fosters joy, that gives you the feeling of joy. Knowing how to make yourself happy rather than expecting others to make you happy. Have a hobby, whatever it is, cooking, reading, bird watching, going to the gym, whatever it is, jogging, I don't know, whatever it is for you, that which gives you joy. And that's how you nurture yourself. You nurture your joy. You give that to which feeds the experience of joy. Now, the other side is feeling safe. Now, nobody wants to feel unsafe. But how do you make yourself feel safe? Do you lock yourself in your room and not talk to anybody? Never leave your home? Still wear a mask even though COVID has been over for 2 years? Not talk to anybody because you think they're against you? That's not going to make you feel safe. Feeling safe is your own confidence in who you are and what you're capable of. Developing skills is the secret to building confidence. And the more confident you are in yourself, the more safe you're going to be in various circumstances. Because anyone can feel safe if you lock yourself in your room and only come out to get food and go to the bathroom and watch yourself. Especially computer programmers. There's a lot of people working from home now. You don't talk to anybody still after COVID because of the paranoia that was created from the news, the bombardment of fear. I think that impacted everybody, kind of traumatized the whole world. And that's why this epidemic of loneliness is so prevalent now. So make yourself feel safe by also avoiding dangerous situations, precarious situations. Don't walk down that dark alley at nighttime, if you know what I mean. Don't go out alone. Call a friend. Hey, I just want some company. Would you go with me on this hike? Or would you go with me shopping? Or would you come meet me at this restaurant? That's all. Create the sense of safety in your own life yourself. Now, number 2, talk to people you already know. Old friends, family, give them a call. And if you haven't talked to them in a while, be frank with them. Just say, hey, we haven't talked in a while. I know I'm calling out of the blue. I just wanted to say hello because I wanted to catch up. And then tell stories. Remember when we used to. Or remember when it was like. Catch up on their dreams. What are they doing? What are they wanting out of their life? Share with them your expectations of life. This is what I want for myself. This is what I'm working on. Really reconnect. If there's any old apologies for whatever wrongdoing that may have occurred, apologize. Or if they did you wrong, just say, hey, look, I know we've had this disagreement. I just want to say I forgive you. I don't hold it against you because I know you're not that type of person. You just had a bad moment. And usually they'll come out and say, God, you know what? I even forgot about that. I'm sorry. And you'll connect. Number 3, join an activity group. Whether it's hiking, whether it's dancing, whether it's a speaking group, whatever that group is, a book club, perhaps it's a card playing, perhaps it's a men's group like Momentum, perhaps it's a dance class, a photography or bird watching, whatever the group you choose, be it an expression of your hobby, be it an expression of your true interest. You don't want to go to some club that you don't have any interest in. Join a chess club, and I've never played chess and I don't want to play chess. Well, why join a chess club? Take a class in something like martial arts, archery, dancing, photography class. Classes often bring people together because just like in high school and college, remember that time when it was really easy to meet friends and make new friends? All you did was say, hi, my name's whatever it is. What's your name? And what do you like? You shared your interests with them and you made friends with people who had common interests. So join a club that you have a sincere interest in. Perhaps it's something you haven't done in a while and you want to rekindle that desire, that interest. Say, for example, you're used to be an avid photographer and you haven't picked up the camera in a while. So you join a bird watching group to take pictures and just say, hey, I really want to get back into photography and I haven't done it in a while. Or get into a photography class. Just be forthright with people. Nothing builds trust than forthrightness and transparency and authenticity. It's a little nervous. You're going to meet people you've never met before, but usually there's a certain degree of comfort when you know you're all interested in the same thing. A hiking club, everybody enjoys the outdoors, enjoys the sun, enjoys nature. There's bird watchers who go on hikes, but everybody enjoys the outdoors. Wow, what a wonderful day it is. There's a really great views here. The trees are wonderful. You just talk about the common experience. That's how you create bonds with people that you don't know but have similar interests. Just think back in college. What's your major? What year are you? Oh, well, I'm this. Oh, have you tried this? Have you been here? Do you like this? You get to know people. You get to know people by asking questions, sincere questions, because you want to get to know them. You got to do a little reaching out yourself. You can't expect everyone to come to you to get to know you and then say, well, nobody wants to get to know me and therefore I can't trust anybody or there's something wrong with me. and therefore I can't go out. It's an unreasonable way of thinking. And the feeling of not being good enough and the fear of being judged is often the biggest reason why most people don't go out and meet people, including old friends and going to the social occasion with pre-existing friends. The fear of being judged because deep down inside you feel not good enough. In other words, you're not confident in who you are. And that's the biggest block in joining these clubs or joining the class or whatever it is. Join a Rotary club. It's a community club where most of the people are retired, but everybody is there for a good cause. People who join these Rotary clubs or Lions clubs, clubs of that nature, tend to want to meet other people. That's why they join the club. Nobody's there to ignore you or ostracize you. You know what I mean? They want to meet. They have goodwill. They have good intentions, so to speak. They want to experience community. That's why they're there. So go and find a club, whatever, even the American Red Cross, do some volunteering and you'll get to know people. Because really the feeling of loneliness comes from isolating yourself and wanting to belong. If you're isolating yourself and you're not lonely, then you're very comfortable being alone because you're comfortable in your own skin. You're comfortable doing the things you enjoy doing. You already know how to make yourself feel fulfilled and happy. If you're just happy watching the football games, that's fine. That's great. Then you're not lonely. But some part of you wants to talk to somebody and connect with somebody. So you use whatever it is you're truly interested in, that which already brings you happiness, and you talk about that with other people who also are interested in that same thing, whether it's football games, whether it's chess, whether it's building model cars, fixing cars, whatever your hobby or interest is. Join a group that is of that hobby. That'll already break the ice. It's a great way to meet new people. Now, number 4, follow up with these people. If you call up an old friend or family member, don't just leave it at that one conversation. If there's chemistry, if you feel that, hey, yeah, this feels really good, we're having a barrel of laughs, let's go out and meet for drinks. Let's catch up on dinner or come on over to my place. Whatever the cause, whatever the situation is, make plans to continue this relationship, to stay in communication, stay in contact with one another. Follow up with them. People you meet at the clubs. Hey, you're a really good person. You're really authentic. I like you. We got similar interests. Why don't you come on over and meet my girlfriend or meet my kids, or why don't we meet up again for drinks or something? You follow up and make future plans to nurture the relationship, the friendship. Friendships are like a garden. If you don't water the garden, the friendships die. They wither away. If you don't nurture the friendship by staying in communication, staying connected, they wither away because of the responsibilities of life take over. Most people who approach middle age have a family. They have bills. They have a mortgage. They have rent. They have a career. They have obligations. That's often the biggest cause of drifting apart. And that job, the career, the responsibilities often changes a person because they don't fool around anymore. They're not young anymore. They're not naive anymore. They're not going to live their life compulsively and impulsively because they have responsibilities. So often the values change. And if your values are not congruent, you're going to feel a sense of distance because they're not going to trust you and you're not going to trust them. If you become responsible and have a family and you have that friend who is single and still going out and drinking, you realize the ramifications of that lifestyle would have upon your family and your job. Therefore, you're going to stop connecting with them. You're going to drift apart. The person who is single continues to live that party lifestyle is wondering what happened to all their friends. Well, they grew up. And then you're that older 30-something-year-old person hanging out with 25, 24-year-olds. And you feel like, wow, our values are different. I'm not 23 anymore. You can't hang out with these kids. You look at them as kids. there's always a discrepancy of values, personal values. So make sure you're on the same page with values when you meet new people. Because you're just going to not agree on things. Number 5, and this falls right into number 5, effective communication, because bonding is all in communication. If you don't know how to communicate, you're never going to bond with anybody. So when I meet people in my life now, I find that a majority of them talk about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. So you ask them about their story, about their interest, about their life. Let them talk about themselves and show sincere interest. Don't fake it. If you're not truly interested in somebody, it will show. You can't fake that. Authentic, sincere interest, because you're interested in them, because maybe you have a similar interest and similar value. So you're going to be naturally interested in these people. Be curious. Curiosity is a great state of mind because it overrides all of that fear and anxiety. You look at life as an adventure when you're curious. Now, the stages of bonding, you got to understand no one knows you. And you don't know anybody when you go to these community events, these classes or clubs. So you got to create connection. You got to create the trust that you're looking for. And that usually starts on common ground. You talk about the interest that you're in. Photography, what kind of camera do you have? Oh, I have this camera. What kind of style of photography do you? Whatever it is. You like nature. Oh, well, where do you like to hike? On the beach and the mountains and the desert? Whatever the interest is, and you could join a chess club. Well, what do you do outside here? Any other games you like? You like cards? Talk about the common interests. And some of you, especially the introverts, will say that's shallow. Well, you can't get to the deeper end without first going through the shallow end. You can't get to that personal stuff that you want to talk about and share. And I see you're making it about you again. You know what I mean? It's not all about you when you're in communication with somebody. It's about the common ground. It's about we. There's no I in team. There's no I in we. So that's the problem. If you're trying to connect and you make the conversation all about you, how's the other person going to feel? Ignored. And you might not be intentionally ignoring them. You're so eager to share who you are, what's important to you, what you like, but you're not showing interest in them. You know how it feels when somebody shows no interest in you and all they do is talk about themselves. You feel like you're the outsider looking in, that you're not a part of the conversation. So the art of conversation is showing interest in the other person, sharing stories the person will be interested in after you ask a few questions and you get to know what makes them laugh, what makes them interested, what pulls their attention. That's usually common ground. You start with the common ground and then you go into the personal things. Once you establish a degree of trust, then you can, when you feel safe enough, when you demonstrate integrity, when the other person demonstrates integrity, when they know that they're respectful, or you know that they're respectful, they're not going to be compulsive, they're not going to overly react, get mad at any little thing you say, or get paranoid and be insecure about themselves. When you have that sense of trust, you relax. And when you relax, you feel more comfortable to share personal feelings, and helping the other person feel relaxed by being non-judgmental, by being accepting, by being curious, and being interested. It's a beingness. It's a state of being when you connect with people, especially new people. And once you're able to break the ice, then you can start opening up to more personal things. And that's usually done on the second occasion, but you can read their value system. You can tell that a person is basically good. They're not out to manipulate you or con you in any way, shape, or form. They're telling you the truth. They can be trusted. And you must demonstrate that as well. You can even say, hey, I'm a little nervous. I haven't been out in a while. And I'm kind of nervous about meeting new people, to be frank. Just be forthright and transparent. Nothing breeds trust more than forthrightness and transparency. And don't expect people to be like that. Unmet expectations are the biggest cause of upset. And expectations, quite frankly, are unfair to put onto other people. Be comfortable in your own skin. When you're confident, you're comfortable in your own skin. When you're able to have conversations because you practice by catching up with old friends and family, nothing to prove there, you know what I mean? And when you meet new people, there's often a sense of you got to prove yourself. You got to prove your trustworthiness as much as they have to prove their trustworthiness to you. And once that degree of trust is established, you can share personal things. Well, listen, I really like sushi. Do you like sushi? Or, I really love macro photography or whatever it is. Then you can really form that bond. Then the friendship begins to form. So in effective communication, how to create that bond, you can mirror the body language of the person you're conversing with, and mirror their tone and be agreeable. Nobody likes somebody who argues with you. As soon as you say something, they're making you feel wrong. So why do you do that to other people? If you're constantly arguing with people, they're not going to want to talk to you. So that's the whole art of communication. Learning to bond with people, be agreeable, demonstrate trustworthiness by being transparent and being authentic, and be sincerely interested in them. Don't make it about you. Don't be selfish in the conversation. Be generous in the listening. Listen to what they have to say. Be generous in your interest. Be interested in who they are and what they do and where they're coming from. And then to amplify that connection, mirror their tone and mirror their body language. That generates an energetic frequency where you just feel trust. The guard comes down. And here's the beauty of participating in social events, especially with close friends, is when you're around close friends and having the experience of camaraderie, your guard is let down. You automatically feel safe. And when you feel safe, the oxytocin hormone gets produced, and that's the love hormone. And that's when you feel this social bond where you feel like you love these guys, you love these girls, you love the people that you're with, because you don't have to walk around with your guard up being paranoid. It's that guard, that flight or fight system that's preventing you from feeling connection. And that sense of distrust is really an unreasonable thought process, an unfair expectation that you put onto others because you don't know how to be strong and have that sense of self-worth yourself. So that's why you need to work on your mindset, your self-worth, and your confidence. Understand that you could be emotionally dysregulated. So you need to learn how to calm yourself down through exercise, through meditation, through yoga, and get a degree of clarity and confidence by creating competency, getting good at something. Number 2, talk to people you already know. The ice is already broken. Very easy to just catch up with old friends or family. Number 3, join an activity group, a club, a class in something. It's easier the ice is kind of broken. It's already warmed up because you're already having a common interest established, common ground. And you need to establish common ground before you get into personal connection. And number 4, follow up with the people that you have met, whether it's friends or family, whether it's people in the class that you meet. Nurture the friendship, nurture the relationship, nurture the acquaintance. Number 5, learn effective communication. Listen, be interested in, mirror the body language, and mirror the tone. If you have any questions regarding your health, your mindset, and where you are in life, and you want to improve the situation because you know you were meant for more, you know you're capable of more, you know that life can be fulfilling, but just don't know how to get there, go ahead and leave a comment below. I'm a certified life coach, and I help people experience this freedom from the suffering they're in so they can experience fulfillment and create the abundance that they truly want. Go ahead and leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening.